So pregnancy seems to be in the air the past 2 years, which wouldn't be an issue if Gen Z didn't treat rich grown women in their 20s as if they're teenagers in the hood getting pregnant. Over the past decade, there's been this silent movement, well, not so silent movement, amongst black women and girls to protect their womb, expand their dating options, choose providers, and beat stereotypes and not make the same romantic mistakes as their moms and grandmas. And these are all things I support. However, it's getting into a territory where women are shaming each other and by proxy these public figures for the way they build families, despite the fact that these women that are in the top 1% of earners, their children are not going to want for a thing, and they're not going to have to deal with the same pitfalls as the average 20-something-year-old that gets pregnant out of wedlock by accident. The first I noticed was Keke Palmer. People often express disappointment in Keke because she wasn't married and because the father of her child was relatively known and made less than her. And I think some of these critiques were valid, but it was still layered with a very thick veil of self-righteousness. There were some red flags because an ex of Darius Jackson made a TikTok video exposing the fact that he asked her to get an abortion, and this was around the same time he started dating Keke. Keke also alluded to the fact that she chose this man because he fit the physical bill, but didn't elaborate much beyond that. Like, what do we know about his character? You know what I mean? Things seemed peaceful, cool, and copacetic until the infamous Usher incident, where Keke got serenaded by Usher and she wore this sheer dress. And this led to Darius disparaging her on Twitter. Then Keke's mom got involved. Darius's brother got involved. Sarunas Jackson. And it inevitably became a mess for just everyone involved. At the peak of this conflict, there were domestic violence allegations slaying on both of them. As of recently, the drama between the two of them calmed down, and they seem to be co-parenting relatively well. I think the source of the conflict is just two people that have a dramatic difference in values. Keke always seemed to be a non-traditional woman, but I think she aspired to motherhood as she approached her 30s, but didn't necessarily want to be a wife. While Darius seemed to be a traditional guy, or at least someone that aspired to traditionalism, and this is why I think the long-term relationship between the two of them could never realistically work. Next, you have the whole Holly and DDG situation. The hatred people showed for this man and this relationship was totally unwarranted. A lot of people felt that he didn't fit the aesthetic or the brand that fit a Disney princess. It also doesn't help that her co-star for The Little Mermaid was a white man, and members of the divestment community got involved and pushed for them to be together, even though she was already in a relationship with DDG before filming even started. Then narratives got created that DDG was dusty, that he was broke, that he was leeching off Holly, when that wasn't the case. He always and still makes more money than her. I think a lot of people severely underestimate how popular streaming is. And on top of that, they just have two completely different audiences. His audience is mostly male, her audience is mostly female. There's just not a lot of overlap, so a lot of Holly fans didn't know who DDG was. And people just did the most, projecting negative narratives, about their relationship. Then also, when it got revealed that she was pregnant, it became, oh my god, I can't believe he trapped her, he's ruining her. And it's kind of insulting because you're taking agency out of her because she also laid down, also chose to conceive this baby, carry it to term, and ultimately give birth to what is now her son. The saddest part of it all is that despite the breakup, DDG has proven to be an excellent dad. And granted, social media, but we see him with the baby more than we see Holly with the baby. He hasn't disrespected her or her image since they broke up, but I think the black baby daddy stigma is ruining expectations that people projected onto her. But it's still insulting because you're taking her agency away and villainizing this young black man in the process. Also, I think people forget Holly's from Atlanta, and she expressed a preference for bad boys before any of the Little Mermaid stuff. So people need to stop infantilizing this young black actress and just accept reality for what it is. Then we got Sky Jackson. Prayers for Sky Jackson. That girl's kind of been a mess for years. She's kind of had rumors that she was pimped out by her parents for yachting. And again, these are rumors, these are all allegations. And then soon following after that, she engaged in a relationship with Beyonce's nephew Jules, had that boy crashing out, releasing intimate videos with both him and her, and intimate videos of himself. Then she's beefing with other girls over rappers. She beefed with Bad Baby for NBA Youngboy. And now she seemed to calm down. Things seem to be going well for her. Then she appears with this guy, this tall, light-skinned, redhead guy, who we now know is named Yerky Yerky. She found this man in jail, was his jail pen pal, and then started a relationship with him, because that's a smart thing for a young, wealthy woman to do. Start a relationship with someone in jail named Yerky Yerky. Then we later learned this guy has 3 baby mamas, called her a Disney thought, said he regretted getting her pregnant, said he hated her. And then, oh God, prayers for Sky Jackson. Then his videos of him getting arrested, videos of him high off Percocets. Like, of all the baby mama chronicles that's been happening this decade, like, Sky Jackson is easily the most disappointing. Like, why would you engage with this? And the sad part is, one of her friends came out saying that, like, oh, she likes hood dudes, that's her type. Why though? Like, you come from money, wealth, influence, you have Disney prestige. Why are you getting pregnant by a guy that just came out of jail? What do you... Oh God. And I hate to sound so pessimistic, because I really do wish the best for her and her child, but this was easily the stupidest, most avoidable situation. Like, Yerky Yerky. Yerky Yerky. Next, we got Coi Leray having a baby with Trippie Redd. Now, I will say she did an excellent job at keeping us out of her business, but not even 2 weeks after announcing that she was pregnant with a baby, she announced that she was sad because she got cheated on while being pregnant with said baby. Now, I don't know what in her right mind made her think that Trippie Redd would be the greatest father in the world. Like, I don't know, like, I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but who looks at Trippie Redd and thinks, that's the father of my child? Like, again, I'm not a woman, but I don't know. I don't get it. Now, I will be honest and say most of these outcomes are very undesirable. I think none of these women will have to deal with things that the average black woman deals with. Also, there's no guarantee that a ring will prevent the negative side effects that comes with being a quote-unquote baby mama. You might have to deal with the label of baby mama. I know ex-wife or ex-fiance might sound a lot more flattering, but it's not a guarantee that there'll be a good relationship dynamic, that the relationship will last, or even that the father will be active and present. The perfect example of this, I think, is Cardi B and Offset. She got a ring, she got the marriage before she had culture, but she's been cheated on multiple times, caught an assault charge for confronting a side chick, been embarrassed by multiple other women, always having a public meltdown, and is now going through a divorce where she might have to pay her ex-husband spousal support since her income exceeds his. And to add insult to injury, Offset proudly stated, "I won, you are baby mama," as if his children are a prison sentence to his wife and not blessings to the both of them. I think that's twisted as hell, but I say all that to say, a ring, a piece of paper, isn't everything. Marriage was initially a religious pact and later a financial safety net for the lawyer or the caretaking parent that usually was the woman. But society became more secular, and as the wage gap between men and women closes and eventually inverts, I think the concept of marriage is going to be antiquated. Similar things happen to Halle Berry, Britney Spears, Vanessa Morgan. Again, a ring doesn't guarantee happiness or success in a relationship or for your children. And I didn't mean for this to be a long diatribe or video essay, but I say all this to say we got to start projecting and infantilizing young black women when they decide to be mothers, however they decide to be mothers. We also got to stop associating a ring with success, because sometimes that ring can be a downfall, quiet as it's kept. But that's all I got to say about this topic. Thank you.